We'll now quickly move forward towards the next panel that we have in line for you. All right, we are all set up. The stage is ready for the next panelists. May I now request Dr. Pooja Gupta, Head Corporate Quality, Country Delight, to please join us for the third panel discussion that we're going to have right now. Let's have a big round of applause, everyone. This panel is all about innovation in food testing, redefining the food security. Next panelist that we have on board is Dr. Vikramsinha Deshmukh. He is GM Corporate Quality Excellence, Dharampal, Satyapal. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. Big round of applause, everyone. Moving on, may I take the pleasure to invite Mr. Kunal Shingala, Chief Operating Officer and Director, Testtex India Laboratories. Next we have Dr. Neerja Hajela, Chief Scientific Officer, Yakult, Danone, India. Heartiest welcome to you. And now it's a time to welcome Mr. Abir Mukherjee, CTO, Alpha Milk Foods, and he is going to be the moderator of our panel discussion, and he's the one who is going to moderate the session. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. Can we have a round of applause for him as well? And now may I request our moderator to kindly take the session forward.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think we have all had a good lunch. Generally, we are on the topic of food testing. खाना खाने के बाद फूड टेस्टिंग का थोड़ा सा अजीब लगता है कि पता नहीं खाना सही खाया कि नहीं खाया, जो खाया वो सही था, टेस्ट हुआ था या नहीं हुआ था. Anyway, to introduce myself Abir Mukherjee. I'm a dairy technologist, a hardcore dairy technologist, और स्पष्ट भाषा में जिसे आप कह सकते हैं एक सर्टिफाइड ग्वाला हूँ, ए मिल्कमैन. तो मिल्क की ट्रेडिशन आज तक हम लगा रहे हैं, और आई थिंक विद मी आई हैव क्वाइट अ फ्यू पीपल हु आर फ्रॉम द डेयरी इंडस्ट्री. एंड द टॉपिक विच वी आर गोइंग टू टेक ऑन is on related to the testing, the artificial intelligence, and all the developments, and how India is moving forward towards this world. To cut the matter short, I would like my all panel members to introduce themselves. Over to you.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Neerja Hajela. I'm the Chief Scientific Officer for Yakult Danone India. I'm looking after the scientific and the regulatory activities, and I've been with Yakult for more than 20 years now. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kunal Shingala, Chief Operating Officer and Director at Testtex India Laboratories. We're a third-party testing, inspection, and certification agency. We work with Indian and global brands meet their regulatory requirements for India and for global markets. And I look after the operations, sales, and marketing.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Vikram Deshmukh. I am GM Corporate Quality Excellence with DS Group, recently joined. Before this, I worked with Dr. Reddy's about Danone. So I am from background of quality, food safety, and regulatory. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Dr. Pooja Gupta. I head quality at Country Delight with more than 25 years of experience in quality. From past 5 years, I'm working with Country Delight as brand head quality. Thank you.
As the panel goes, the innovation in food testing, redefining the food security. Basically, what we will try to do is to relate the testing with the security of food and to ensure that what we consume is a good for our health. And to start with, I will hand over to Dr. Neerja regarding what is the key trends that are shaping the food testing. Because food testing has evolved in a high-tech and much more disciplined way. Right from the time it was on a general thing, now it has moved to a global scenario. And to what are the developments and what for the all 30 years of experience you have, how much you have seen, how the things have grown. I'd like you to share your experience and throw the light on that.
Thank you so much, Abir. Thank you so much for having me here. I think the food safety testing, the entire spectrum has evolved now very, very rapidly. And this has a lot to do with the stricter regulations, with the changing consumer expectations, with advances in technologies, and the very complex food supply chains. So what we're really looking at today is real-time automation, molecular diagnostics, and artificial intelligence. So the key trends today are, if you just, just to name a few, is one is rapid and real-time testing. So most food companies are today wanting results very, very quickly. So they're moving to real-time tests, And this is largely to prevent contamination risks, to prevent food recalls, and the need of the hour is to get a test result within 24 hours. And that is what is dominating your so-called technologies. And one example is of real-time PCR. So real-time PCR is a very sensitive method for detection of pathogens and allergens and can be performed very, very rapidly. In fact, this is kind of replacing the slower culture methods which were used in the laboratory. Now, I'm sure many of you must have heard about microbes. We're talking about the gut microbes, but we're also talking about microorganisms in food. So we are looking at now whole genome sequencing. And whole genome sequencing is a very rapid method of identifying and characterizing a microorganism, which is again replacing the slower culture-based methods. Of course, we have artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is going to be the key differentiator in food industry. So artificial intelligence and machine learning, so to say, they are basically able to analyze huge data sets and identify risk patterns, prevent contamination outbreaks, before they occur, and automate compliance audits. We heard about it in the morning, but just to repeat the same story again. And then, of course, we've heard of blockchain and digital traceability. So a lot of food companies, a lot of regulators are investing heavily in digital traceability to improve your transparency and to improve your food recall systems. And of course, Internet of Things. So again, food manufacturers are investing a lot of money, collecting huge amount of data, but the results are unfortunately not able to speak to themselves. So Internet of Things is nothing, but it allows for collection of data from different devices, everyday devices, exchange and sharing of data, and this is done automatically without any human intervention. So these are some of the techniques which are actually shaping the key trends in food safety and testing.
Thank you, ma'am. And to continue on the same topic, I would ask Mr. Kunal to throw a light on, and what are the impacts and what are the how can we develop the transparency of that? Because the collection of the data is not enough. The data are already there, but how much we can reflect it and how quickly that can help us to get to the end result. We go to the root cause for it. That's much more important. So I'd like you to throw a light on that.
Thank you, Abhijit. So I would like to say food safety in today's time is not just about a compliance requirement, but it's more of a business success metric. Earlier, manufacturers just looked at it as अच्छा मुझे report pass है या fail हो रहा है क्या हो रहा है, but they did not try to get more deeply into it. Right now, what we're trying to see a shift is that they're trying to move from a pass-fail metric to a next shipment जाने के पहले what is it that I can improve in my quality that I do not have any business risk or brand trust loss. Today, we're also seeing, because of digital awareness and a lot of influencers, for example, we've seen Food Farmer, who's also gone to known by his actual name, Revant. We've seen him speak about, on various platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn, about Padega India to Badega India, which is he's actually advocating for consumers to read about labels, and which is also putting a lot of pressure on brands to speak about and actually try and verify the claims that they're going for. We've seen a lot of brands change their nutritional facts or a lot of their claims that they had before behind the packs, and these are traditional brands jo humne over the years, we've seen them sell products to everyone who have now changed a lot behind their label, who have actually come out to speak about the right things that are going in the food. When we come down to transparency, it is something that can only start from a manufacturer's end, and that is sourcing the right raw materials, sourcing the right things, and at the end, delivering the right product. We as a testing lab can only ensure that we can give you trust and credibility on your product. We can test your inline food manufacturing batch products. We can also test your finished goods. We can test and tell you what is right and what is wrong, and maintain a traceability. For example, for us, we maintain a complete digital traceability from the start process to the end, where you will be able to see where your product, if the product has started testing, what stage it is, and if it has ended, what is the actual conclusion. We also provide consultation services to a lot of manufacturers where we give you ideas on how to improve your products. On the other end, we're also seeing manufacturers now look into food safety, not from a detection perspective, but from a prevention perspective.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. I think when we talk of the traceability, we are much more concerned with giving our consumers what we require. There can be a lot of theories, lot of procedures that can ensure we can put the QR codes or scan codes on our label itself, which can correlate to the traceability data for the batch that has been manufactured. We are talking about the food sector. There are a lot of players that are involved. Sabse pehle, if we talk about I'm from the dairy industry. The production begins right from the farmer who is producing the milk. वहाँ क्या क्वालिटी थी, रास्ते में क्या थी, मेरे पास क्या आई, मैंने क्या बनाया, आगे मैंने क्या कंज्यूमर को दिया. The day we connect all that, the traceability is there, and that has to be displayed directly to the producer, consumer. Then we are successful in doing that. So, to proceed further, we'll go with Dr. Pooja, who will throw the light on what are the rapid test technologies that are coming up, so that we don't have to wait a long to ensure. Yeah, you
Thank you, sir. Food safety, as we all are aware, is a major concern nowadays. When globally, it's reported, WHO has reported that more than 6 billion million people are affected by foodborne illness. Out of these 600 million people, 400 are the reported death rates. 4 lakhs are the reported, which is very high. Now, already traditionally, food testing is from the centralized lab. We also work with a lot of labs, centralized labs. These labs rely on very sophisticated equipments like LCMS, ICP-MS, and infrared. Big equipments are there. Although the result accuracy is very high and sensitivity is very high, but they are very infrastructure intensive, cost intensive, time consuming, and it takes around 24 hours to 72 hours to generate the data, which is too high. In the supply chain system like India, where it's global issue that supply chain system like ours, where the food is directly going to the consumer before any corrective action is taken. In case of any food recall or any issues, it takes time for the product to analyze. Before that, the product is already reached the consumer with all these rapid delivery systems are there. Product is ready there. Now, there come the need of this rapid testing kits. Worldwide, Germany, US, Japan, they are working a lot on AI-enabled testing kits to rapidly generate the data. In India, if we see, we are the global leader in dairy. Already, sir has spoken about the dairy industry, where we have exceed from 2 lakhs, that is 230 million production of dairy products. Apart from fruit, vegetable, processed product, the production is high. But every day we listen about so much adulteration. That may be in the form of pesticide residues, antibiotic residues, and then microbial contamination is there. So many issues are there. Then here come the needs that we have to break the monopoly. Already CM, they have given the presentation on rapid detection kits. So this is the need of the hour. Now starting with the rapid food safety systems, we now see, when I was studying, I heard about the biosensors. Now these biosensors are very common with our glucose meter, our heart rate monitors, then pulse monitor. So these things now are in practice. When I was studying, I was understanding what is these biosensors. Now these things has become very common now. Coming to microbial rapid contamination. Now PCR-based technologies are there. With the real time, we get the result very fast. Then lateral flow assays in the time of COVID era. We have seen that. We want the result very fast. And our pregnancy testing kits, these are the few examples of rapid testing kits. One side we are talking about the rapid testing kit, other side is their cost. I am not going to say about what the cost part. So the cost is also very important. For rapid testing kits, India FSSI working a lot on developing this raft for the approval of these rapid testing kits and their quality on wheels, that is say food safety on wheels. These initiatives has been taken by FSSAI. But need is to rapid testing kit that are low in cost for their centralized economic like India, where still we are scattered. Our quality system, production, they are scattered. Our farmers are scattered at the ground. So that need is there that we have to work on the rapid testing kit, which are low in cost and plus easily disposable and friendly, eco-friendly and very easy to use. So these few things has helped us to create to rely on the paper testing kits. One of the example of paper testing kits, I'll take the example from the DRDO. They have developed Mark III, a rapid testing kit, which at Country Delight we have taken support of DRDO to commercialize this kit. Now this kit detects the adulteration, milk adulteration within few minutes, so which is very important for farm. At farms, although big machines are there, but this rapid testing kits help farmer to the milk collection center to assess that yes, the milk is adulterated or not. So this is the thing which has supported a lot to the farmers at milk collection centers for the milk collection. Side by side, coming to the farm, to the fork, that consumers, these kits are given to the consumer to check that. Even to the army officers, where at the very heights, they are not able to check the milk quality. No sophisticated lab is there. Now these rapid paper-based testing kits are very important for the military persons, army procurement to check the product. Coming to the other example, I have time to speak more, sir. Coming to the other examples of rapid testing kits, we are the first one. I don't want to add, but I want to share that word first carbide testing kit. इंडिया में अगर हम आम खाते हैं, आज आम का मौसम है, तो हमको हमेशा डर लगता है कि इसमें वो केमिकल होगा, थोड़ा भिगो के रखना है. That carbide is there. Still carbide is being used as artificial ripening. Now need is there. So we have developed that carbide testing kit for first of its kind, जो चेक करता है कि प्रोडक्ट पे कार्बाइड है कि नहीं. तो these are the important. आपके पास आया, आप rapidly you can check it with carbide present or not. Otherwise, NDRI is also lot working. We are working with NRI also for antibiotic residues kit. For farmers, again for the farmer, for field work, these residues, sir, आप तो NRI से ही हैं, they have developed that and we have commercialized those kits. And these are very helpful. These are microbiology-based kits. Bacillus stereothermophilus is there, which spores are used for the antibiotic residue checking. So like this, so there is scope for paper testing residues kits for rapid testing of the adulterants and contaminants. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pooja. Actually, when we are going about the testing and the rapid testing, basically it is not the case of detect and recall, rather than to detect and protect. That's why the role, if we can do that to the maximum, then we can ensure the consumer कि हमने आपको एक सही प्रोडक्ट दिया है और आप इसे ढंग से बेफिक्र होके आप इसे कंज्यूम कीजिए. I'll just give you a news. I don't know how much of you are aware of this in this hall or not. Japan has banned Indian mangoes again. After 20 years, it took 20 years for us to establish our reliability. Again, first we were banned in, I think, 2001 or 2. It took 5 years to again to just have the certification and all to ensure all the guarantee. And after 20 years of maintaining, some lapse has gone up. That has forced the Japanese authority to ban all the mangoes that are being supplied from here. So it's a continuous process. It's not that once we achieve one certification and that goes like that. And that will go on forever like your FSI license or so. Moving on, I would rather request Mr. Vikram to throw light on the public well-being and the food analysis and how much the transparency that will help the consumer.
Thank you for this question. So since the discussion is going around food safety, how we are evolved over a period of time. So everyone in this room has seen how we have evolved ourselves over a period of time, say last 10 years, especially last 5 years, before COVID and after COVID. So if you see the food safety with respect to the modern technology, with respect to the public well-being, with respect to the analytical predictability, so it is more about the predicting the things before it happens. So if you see the change in behavior of ourselves from reactive to predictive. So that is how the food safety also has evolved over a period of time in a manufacturing, analytical setup from reactive to predictive methodologies. So if you see the AI, when we are talking about AI nowadays everywhere, but AI is a really fantastic things which is doing in food safety. When we say machine learning, deep learning, these are the terminologies which has really transformed how we can predict the things before it impacts or before it creates as a contaminant or before it creates as a microbiological contamination to the product. So AI is focusing more on the predictive technology. What madam has explained, microbiological testing, so the data analysis, deep learning of the data, how the data is getting analyzed, and before it creates an impact in our food in terms of spoilage, in terms of contamination, we are getting a lot of signals from these systems. So that is how our AI is helping. So giving you the example, like we have spoken about the rapid detection kits, but what AI is doing beyond that. So AI is, for example, I came across one example in terms of the microbiological analysis. So now traditional microbiological analysis takes 3 days, 5 days, which is the reference method, incubation based. So AI is doing this analysis based on the image processing. So within 3 hours of time, AI could able to identify the morphology of the organisms. So for example, E. coli, Salmonella, and they can able to predict what is the quantitative count into the product. So that the technology is getting developed. That is called YOLO V4. So that is what I came across. So this really helping us to give more predictability, reduce time into the supply chain. Also it also reduce cost implication, and also it is having a lot of accuracy in terms of identifying the morphology of the organism, identifying or isolation of the colonies, microcolonies in a predictive way. So, giving this example, since we are talking about the testing, rapid testing, how AI can help us to make this system more efficient, cost effective, since we have a lot of challenges. Microbiological analysis, rapid testing is one of the challenges, but however, accuracy is also very important. So this AI will definitely revolutionize and help us to give us a count which is reliable in terms of taking a decision at very early stage of like 3 hours of timeline. Okay, so this is one example, but in terms of feasibility, how it will be cost effective, how it will come. So as we speak, the technology is getting developed. When we move forward, we will have this technology which will be, used by many of manufacturer, and it will be a near future. That's what I could say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vikram. The latest word that is coming on the food safety is of the allergen. I think very few, not all of the people are aware of what is an allergen is. बहुत बार आपने सुना होगा कि फलाना को दूध हजम नहीं होता या घी हजम नहीं होता. That means he's allergic to it. There's nothing wrong with the person or his breed also. So there are very trends that are coming on the testing of the allergens, the pathogens, and much innovations are coming up. The world is moving faster on this. Much testings are done by the multinationals on the things that the contaminants like your nitrate, nitrites, or in the last present stand-up I saw MOA and MOSH. Very few people are aware of what is the origin of that. Very few people are aware of what are the root causes of that. And to talk of the testing, it's very not common in all over the labs. Every lab cannot test it out. Very few labs, because it's cost sensitive or whatever cost effective is there. So what is the way that we detect them at the first step rather than consuming the product or making the final product and then going to the back end of it? So it's better we test at the first hand, the presence and the latest trends on the pathogen testing or the allergen testing. Or request Mr. Kunal to take over the matter.
So yes, since we've all been speaking about Dr. Nija and Dr. Pooja, and even Sir has spoken about rapid technologies, when it comes down to pathogens, yes, there is a PCR model which we all are very aware about, and there are kits that are also coming across. But there's also another technique called VIDAS. Now here in our labs and in most other labs now, these techniques have now been developed. Traditionally, pathogens used to take 4 to 7 working days, depending on the kind of things that we want to achieve. But now these can all be cut down to anywhere between 12 to 24 hours. What this helps is, especially if you are an exporter for global markets and you are exporting fresh meat products or fresh fruits and vegetables, you need to take a call prior to your shipment rather than your shipment reaching the destination. What this also avails is you can have faster turnaround times for your production and for your batches to leave your manufacturing site. With respect to allergens, allergens earlier were not heard, like how Sir has mentioned very well. Even FSSI now still just mandates you to declare about 6 to 8 allergens in India. But when you come down to a European nation and a European regulation, there are about 16 to 18 that are actually identified. It's not just a, thing where you want to get it tested and have a test requirement being put into and have it declared on your product, but it's more like a health hazard. क्योंकि अगर किसी ने भी जिसको peanut allergic है और उसने अगर peanut product खा लिया है, these can cause severe effects on your health. And these are preventive, which you can take earlier rather than go into an hospital later on. So nowadays, especially even with vegan certification, there are so many brands who've now produced vegan foods where you're not using any milk products, you're not using any egg-based products or any meat-based products in it. Which, for example, if you want to identify your product or you differentiate your product from another product, you need to certify yourself for vegan certifications. These allergens have been also tested using ELISA techniques, which are protein reactive basis techniques, which are similar to PCR, but it's a faster and a more accurate method for it.
When you talk of the testing and all the detection and the AI, the use of AI, India so far is considered lagging behind with all the testing and all that. Be it the volume or be it the connectivity, or we can't reach every farmer. So there has to be some method that is the test houses are to develop, or some detection processes are to develop, or some rather intelligence systems on your, you can say AI or net, that they can predict that this type of things are bound to come in this time, this particular season or this particular time. For example, if you talk about the pesticides, rainy season has some different type of pesticides coming into the fodder, to the milk, and the produce from a completely different area. For example, I'll give you one example. Companies which are located in our Punjab and also, they are not able to get 100% pesticide-free milk from Punjab. What might be the reason? What might be the reason for it? That's a much developed part of India. That's not a very crude part of India. Because due to the average land holding has gone up, due to much people migrating from the area, lot of people have migrated, and now to the cultivation is much more dependent on the pesticides. The fodder is being used by the animals, being consumed by the animals, which are directly coming into the milk. It's not that somebody is injecting into it. For example, I will give you one more example. The lead content is much less in milk, is much less when you move towards the eastern UP. Why? There has been low use of pesticides so far. So these are the trends which can be reflected, which we should know, and which can give an indicator of what we are consuming and what we are feeding, not just by going to the books of the tests and all that. This is something, one more parameter. So to continue with it, that where does you, I will put it to all of you one by one, that where does you feel India stands globally?
I think in the food safety and testing systems, India is very well aligned. You know, imagine like 20 years back, we didn't have any kind of a food regulation. Today we have the Food Authority, which has unified all the food laws under one umbrella. We have a large network of NABL accredited laboratories, which are only increasing by the day. And these are recognized by international standards, ISO, IEC 17025. They are also recognized by the international standards of ILAC and so basically, I think India is moving very, very fast. Having said that, I think it's also important to understand that when we are talking about food safety, the onus is also on the manufacturer. You know, it's not that we can just talk about food being unsafe and being tested once it's prepared and has reached the consumer. So even look at the labeling requirements today that we have when it comes to a product label. I mean, I don't remember reading allergens ever on a food label. You know, now they have categorically indicated 8 allergens. We are, of course, not as advanced as EU and US. But today, if you just look at a food package which is there on the shelf, you will see so much of information which in any case tells you that the food has been tested at that level. Even if you look at the kind of exports that we are doing today, so our seafood, you know, processed food, dairy, all of that is being exported to countries like the US, EU, Japan, and Middle East. So they have to meet the regulatory standards of those countries. So you have all these different organizations, your Export Inspection Council, you have the Food Authority, you have EPIDA, all of them are working together to ensure that we are somewhere, we are at a level playing with, the outside world. Of course, we still are lagging behind, but I think if you just look at the kind of advancement that has been made in the last 20 years, with the Food Authority coming in, and the kind of food testing requirements that are there, the kind of laboratories that are there, the kind of technology that has advanced today. We are talking about real-time PCR. Whoever thought that, you know, we would be doing molecular testing in less than 24 hours, or whole genome sequencing. So while we are not there, but I think we are still there. That's my take on it.
When it comes down to India meeting food safety regulations of for the world, I think how ma'am mentioned, we are moving forward. There are a good amount of testing laboratory networks, especially from an Indian testing laboratory network that I would want to bring it upon, because I think we as Indian testing network still do up to 70% of the entire testing broad spectrum here. And we would want to also put forward that global brands are now trusting these labs. It was earlier that only these MNC labs could get those global brands to test products for themselves. But now these global brands also trust the Indian labs to move forward, because we're all equally recognized that with an ISO IEC 17025, with all the international methods and the machineries that we're all investing in to get rapid testing, yes, but also equivalent testings compared to other laboratories. Yes, the governments and the regulatory bodies are making a shift to move towards global regulatory requirements, but I also believe that as India, we need to have a mindset shift. A mindset shift from a fact that just producing the product is not the only responsibility of a manufacturer, but it is also that this is a product that is going to be consumed by humans. We need to make sure that every batch, every routine, and I know it's not very cost effective from a testing perspective, but this is something that needs to be put into a regular action, that most of your batches, if they are changing certain raw materials or if there are any change in variations of flavors as well, these need to be tested for at least safety parameters, if not all.
Yeah. So from my side, in terms of testing, if I could see from manufacturing point of view, definitely there is a big improvement in terms of testing capability for the lab. We have multiple labs which is available, accredited, certified, ISO 17025. But when we say the baseline problem is that we have very less confidence on the testing. That is the real challenge. One lab is giving one report. However, if we are going to send the same sample to the another lab, we have another set of results. So that is a big challenge. What I could see, even though the labs are qualified, certified, NABL accredited. And the second challenge what I could see is the cost. A lab to lab, there is a huge variation of the cost, 30, 40, 50, 60% variations, which definitely tend management to choose for a lab which is less cost. So just I was discussing with someone, so that is the big challenge what I could see the industries are facing to identifying the credible labs. And also, as an industry, we need to go beyond the certification. We need to also qualify the labs, whether labs are following the good practices in terms not mere related with the NABL accreditation, but the practices like proficiency testings, whether they are able to share their data, and we should do the due diligence, and that is what it is required, because there are multiple results, multiple labs, and it is a lot of confusion which is getting created. So I think that is the one area what I would suggest industry should work to select the lab diligently, and also the lab should also harmonize their testing methodologies, pricing, so that industry should have confidence to select the lab based on the fair criteria. Thanks.
India, to add on, India is rapidly emerging as strong player in food testing. To start with, here what is happening is, earlier time when we were exporting fruit and vegetables, issues were there कि आपका वो mangoes या banana खराब हो जाते थे. They were all spoiled during the transit. Now with IoT and AI based system, we check the bricks of the ripening stage of any fruit commodity, the fruit, especially the papaya, banana. So these technologies are now inbuilt with the Indian, which is supporting lot. And we are rapidly growing on this. How to export the product. Now we are well aware of the system. Secondly, what I see is a shift. Earlier, working so many companies, what I've seen, that earlier only MNCs, they were working on R&D system. Now even the startups, we all are investing huge on R&D setting, bringing new technology to so that our customer satisfaction is there and transparency is there. This is the new era of social networks with the influencers. Now what is happening? Company, they are setting up their own R&Ds to showcase that these are the new research where we have to work on, these are the new challenges which are coming on, and we have to develop our new testing systems. So this is the change which I have seen during the years, the ages, this is happening. And sorry, this is not the part, but I want to share that I bought few testing kits, the rapid testing kits, which are kept here. If anybody want to see, they are on the middle seat. It is there. You can see different rapid testing kits, paper-based. Thank you.
Thank you for the topic. I will just continue in continuation with what you told about the confidence the consumer should have on us. Earlier, what we used to do, we used to place the data loggers on the consignments, the frozen consignments which were being exported to the world, so that our customer can know that that the temperature has been maintained. But now, even in the supply chain of liquid milk, for our day-to-day running, there are systems that are being enforced to ensure that throughout the chain, the milk was in a refrigerated condition. So that whatever the products we are supplying, and I think in the probiotics that is much more important than that. The temperature is much more important there. So you can ensure that, and to control that, you need to have some AI system on that. The innovations are there. Just I saw 2-3 counters in the outside for a protein testing. Generally, we assume it is a 4-hour job. But now I saw a machine outside that can give me results within 15 minutes, or I think 10 minutes or so in the total process. So this is the shift that India has come to be incompatible globally. Because when we talk about the link up to the world, they definitely evaluate our systems, that what was the technologies what we are deploying. It's not that our products are being tested. They totally check our systems, the way we are presenting. I will give you one more example that today, quite a few companies are working, keeping the records just on AI, on the data. Otherwise, it was totally a room full of files. We, in the dairy, have to keep 1 year or 18 months shelf life, so you have to keep the record for 19 months. 19 months is a huge time, boss. Nobody keeps it that much. So now there are data that are available for your ready reference. And when you have the data, then you can give the confidence to your consumer, whether it is nationally or internationally. It's not only the price that has been the bottleneck for us. Our technology has also been the bottleneck for our growth. And that's where we are developing, and definitely our exports are going higher. Why? Because our products are being accepted as we are taking the technology, we are raising the bar of our technology. So I think that's much on the side. You want to add something? Yeah, sure.
Since we have talked, on the testing, food safety aspect, so, we should also be discussing on the FSMS part, how AI is translating the FSMS, food safety management system, especially in the manufacturing plants. Since testing is getting atomized, it is giving a greater confidence, but how the AI will help us to predict more accurately in our FSMS. So for that, AI tools, which is currently now is being used, which will help us to create the CAPAs, which is intelligent CAPA, corrective action, identifying the preventive action, which is based on the real-time data for that particular audit observations. Because most of the time we could see the quality of the CAPA is not up to the mark. When we see the FSMS identifying the root cause. So this AI tool would definitely get the real-time insight, have the machine learning, deep learning, and based on the data, they can identify the root causes, which is much more relevant to the audit observations. So that is one way which has helped, FSMS to improve, to atomize the audit compliances, to have the real-time monitoring, and also the communication between the people, machines, that has been improved as part of the FSMS improvement. So this is one of the area where AI is also significantly playing a role, especially atomizing the FSMS system, having the autopilot run where machine can take the decision based on the statistical, mathematical deviations and data in the past, which can help machines to learn from the past incidences and take a decisions before the defects or before the problem could occur into the product. That is the machine learning, deep learning, that would also helping industries to take all these proactive measures, generate all these trends, all these things, but also machine taking actions on its own. That is something which has been, future, which is getting, driven through the AI. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, that's from our side, I think. So any questions? I think I have got a few minutes for that. Yeah, sure.
I have a question to Pooja madam and Abir sir also. Now country delight we are using. Okay. So most of the time your tagline is high fat content. But few of the competitors of yours are using pectin. Pectin. The pectin is a gelling agent. So how come you are overcoming with that challenge? Because it is not allowed to use in dahi, curd, or milk.
Your question is specific on the pectins and the adulteration of that. See, when we talked about the what our competitors are doing, that
you have a curd, okay, from different brands. Now yogurt is different and curd is different. In yogurt, pectin is allowed as like a processed one.
Sure.
But in India, people are taking dahi as it is. So we analyzed on raft few of the dahis from Nandini also. I'll not name the company, but there was a pectin found because the dahi was so solid that we were wondering how come it can be so solid and fat content is not matching with the Nandini. Actually, fat content was less than that. So these adulterations users will not come to know. This is just organoleptic properties, So how come Country Delight is taking care of those things?
I will just, before she answers, I will just tell you one thing, sir. As you just pointed out, without testing, you were aware that how come the dahi is so thick. Right? So that means you have got a set parameters of it. Bereft of the testing, you can very well analyze. It's not a one-day process, sir. Consumer is not a one-day process. And the company, believe it, the company that does these type of jobs, due to consumers' dissatisfaction, is bound to get out of the market. Quality as such speaks of itself. Definitely, the testing, one company may not, they can be fixed on their standards. As yes, we will do this thing. Others, what they do, we can compete with the standards of the authorities, and with our own standards we can compete. We can't force anybody. For example, just that they were talking about that there's a difference from one lab to another lab, or the equipment costing. I will just give you one example. There is we were talking about LCMS machines. Huh? So the cost varies from 15 lakhs to 35 lakhs. And on the day you call somebody for testing, everything is equal. So we can't wait. So everybody has got his own standards, bro.
I have a solution there. Like, see, the housewives are very in that perspective. If you are using the spoon of dahi, if you are वो जो दही लगाते हैं घर में, अगर आपने वो ब्रांड का दही लिया तो वो दही जमता ही नहीं. ओके. एंड सेकंड थिंग, अगर आपने कंट्री डिलाइट लिया या नंदिनी लिया तो दही जमता है, तो उनको पता है इसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. सो we cannot sir wave off our hands that it is a job of the consumer. These are the all responsible people. Everybody's responsibility in food safety.
I want to answer your question. क्या different है country light का? अभी सब बैठे हैं. We also claim on our ads VAT technique. जो पुराने जमाने में हलवाई कढ़ाई पे बनाता था ना, तो this we have converted. जो हमारे R&D heads हैं, we have make that technology. तो हमारा क्या है, वो कढ़ाई पे पहले दूध पकता है बहुत देर तक, तो इसीलिए वो गाढ़ा दही जमता है. दैट इज, यू कैन चेक, आई एम वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट, यू चेक द प्रोडक्ट में आपको नहीं मिलेगा कुछ भी. वो जो थिकनेस आ रही है, दैट बिकॉज वो सब लोग, मतलब मैं आई वर्क विद मेनी कंपनीज, आई डोंट वांट टू शेयर दैट. तो उसमें क्या, तो वो वाला नहीं होता. यू जस्ट पास्चराइज द मिल्क, आप उसके अंदर स्टार्टर ऐड करते हो और देन आप उसको कप में फिल कर देते हो या पाउच में, आपका रेडी, एंड देन यू इंक्यूबेटेड. बट इधर बहुत देर तक हमारा एक सेट QMS है, क्वालिटी मॉनिटरिंग, उसमें हम पूरी देर पकाते हैं. पकाने के बाद जो दही आता है, वो घर वाली गाढ़ी मलाई, तभी आप देखो, दैट मेक इट डिफरेंट. मैं यहाँ मार्केटिंग नहीं कर रही हूँ, जस्ट आंसरिंग योर क्वेश्चन.
Because it is affected to weight also. Weight of the dahi means जो weight, जो आप मान लो 250 ग्राम आप दही जो सेल कर रहे हैं मार्केट में, और आपका कॉम्पिटिटर who is using and water is entrapped into that as a swelling agent, तो उसका प्राइस कम है, तो कंज्यूमर उधर, that is also sensitive case for other good brands also. कि how to control the price, you know.
Ours is little premium. Everyone knows. वहाँ पे we compensate that product is little premium and we charge for that. कि जो इतना पानी नहीं है उसके अंदर, and the consistency of the thick curd is like that. So that is there. The people, those who buy the product, they understand what is different in this product, and they again buy it. Thank you.
More questions? I think the time is up, the board is showing. So we are available here in the show. Thank you all for being a patient listener to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks to our panelists and our moderator. And I would now like to request Mr. Vikram Kelkar, Managing Director, Hexagon Nutrition, to please join us on the stage and felicitate the panel. Requesting you, sir, to kindly felicitate Dr. Pooja Gupta, Head Corporate Quality, Country Delight. Volume of the mic needs to be raised. Requesting you, sir, to please felicitate Dr. Vikramsinha Deshmukh, GM Corporate Quality, Excellence, Dharampal, Satyapal. Big round of applause. Next we have Mr. Kunal Shingala, Chief Operating Officer and Director, Testtex India Laboratories. Next in the panel we have Dr. Neerja Hajela, Chief Scientific Officer, Yakult, Denwan, India. And now it's time to felicitate our moderator, Mr. Abir Mukherjee, CTO, Alpha Milk Foods. Time to have a quick group picture. Requesting you, sir, to please join us for the group picture.